Today we are opening the secret, dust-covered archives of Hollywood production lots to expose 21 massive megastars who secretly began as broke, desperate extras in 90s network television. But we aren't just showing you the clips. We went deep into the back-end production data. We are uncovering the powerful executive producers who controlled these shows, the exact real-world locations where these scenes were filmed, the bitter behind-the-scenes clashes that got some of these actors aggressively fired, and the specific legendary movies that saved them from complete obscurity. Welcome back to Comedalgia, and hit that subscribe button right now, and let's count down to the absolute most shocking number 1.
My name is Elaine Nardo. They told me to ask for Louis.
Yes, ma'am. I'm Louis De Palma.
Oh, hi.
I hope there's no trouble if there...
Number 21, Danny DeVito, the dictator of the taxi cage. Before Danny DeVito became a multimillionaire pop culture god playing Frank Reynolds in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, or terrified audiences as the Penguin in Tim Burton's Batman Returns 1992. He was a completely unknown theater actor from New Jersey who literally used to work as a Hollywood hairstylist. When he walked into the audition room for Taxi at Paramount Studios, the character of Louis De Palma was written as a minor, unlikable background dispatcher who simply handed out keys. The story goes that DeVito walked into the room, threw the script on the table in front of producer James L. Brooks, and said, "One thing I want to know before we start, who wrote this garbage?" The producers fell out of their chairs laughing. Instead of firing him, they made his character the absolute center of the show. DeVito was stuck in a literal wire mesh cage on set for 5 years. Why did he leave? The show was eventually canceled by NBC in 1983 due to rising production costs. But DeVito used his massive Taxi fame to transition into directing and producing, founding Jersey Films. He went on to produce masterpieces like Pulp Fiction 1994, Get Shorty 1995, and Aaron Brockovich 2000, securing his spot as one of the most powerful billionaires in the entertainment industry.
That's right. I guess I'm kind of working on the social part now.
Number 20. Paul Rudd, the extinguished flame of Wild Oats. We all know Paul Rudd as the ageless, charismatic leading man of Marvel's Ant-Man franchise, Anchorman 2004, and The Perks of Being a Wallflower 2012. But back in 1994, Rudd was an aspiring actor who couldn't even pay his gas bill. He thought his life had changed forever when producers Lon Diamond and Rick Puddell cast him as a series regular named Brian Grant in Fox's brand new comedy Wild Oats. The show was heavily pushed by Fox as The Next Friends, focusing on 20-somethings living in Chicago. However, behind the scenes, the network executives hated the scripts. The critics absolutely destroyed the show's uninspired writing, and the ratings completely plummeted in week 2. The executive producers fought with Fox over the time slot, but the network ruthlessly canceled the show after broadcasting just 4 episodes. Rudd thought his Hollywood dream was completely dead, but this brutal cancellation was a massive blessing in disguise. Because he was suddenly released from his multi-year Fox TV contract, he was legally free to audition for a small independent feature film shooting that same year. That movie was Clueless 1995, starring Alicia Silverstone. Clueless became a massive global pop culture phenomenon, launching Paul Rudd straight off the failed TV block and directly onto the Hollywood A-list.
More and Apple, and he's exposing himself. What, honey? Honey, look at that man.
Number 19, Matthew McConaughey, the shotgun victim of Texas. This is one of the most unbelievable origin stories in television history. Long before Matthew McConaughey won an Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club 2013, or blew our minds in Interstellar 2014 and True Detective 2014, he was a wandering, unmotivated film student at the University of Texas at Austin. He had zero intentions of being an actor until he met a casting director at a local hotel bar. Producers John Cosgrove and Terry Dunn Mirror were shooting a dramatic crime reenactment in Texas for their hit reality drama show, Unsolved Mysteries. They needed a local, cheap actor who was willing to play a real-life murder victim named Larry Dickens. McConaughey took the job purely for the quick cash. In the scene, he plays a regular, wholesome Texan working on a lawnmower in his front yard, who gets confronted and tragically shot by a criminal. He had no lines, just dramatic action. Why did he only do 1 episode? Because his character died. But here's the secret Hollywood lore: that tiny television gig allowed McConaughey to officially secure his Screen Actors Guild SAG card. Without that card, he could not legally be cast in major Hollywood studio movies. Just a few months later, director Richard Linklater spotted him and cast him as Wooderson in the cult classic, Dazed and Confused 1993, where he uttered his legendary phrase, "All right, all right."
Yes, and look, I've had myself surgically fitted with a hand's ass.
Number 18. Steve Carell, the overlooked sketch failure. Steve Carell is a Hollywood treasure, an Oscar-nominated actor, and the absolute mastermind behind Michael Scott in The Office. But during the mid-90s, Carell was completely unknown outside of Chicago's Second City Theater troupe. He thought his ultimate big break had finally arrived when genius executive producers Robert Smigel and Dana Carvey handpicked him for a revolutionary new sketch sitcom hybrid called The Dana Carvey Show on ABC. Carell performed brilliant sketches alongside a then completely unknown Stephen Colbert. However, the show's first episode opened with a highly controversial sketch featuring a caricature of Bill Clinton that completely shocked primetime network audiences. Massive corporate sponsors like Taco Bell and Pizza Hut pulled their advertising dollars immediately in an aggressive panic. The executive producers fought with ABC to keep their edgy humor, but the network ruthlessly canceled the show after only 7 episodes. Carell was utterly devastated, losing his primary source of income and believing his chance at network television stardom had completely evaporated. He spent the next decade struggling in minor voice roles and guest spots until The 40-Year-Old Virgin 2005, and The Office transformed him into an irrational comedy icon at age 43.
Have anything to do with you. You kind of drifted into a no-fly zone. Look, Potsy don't know what he's talking about, all right?
Number 17. Chris Rock, the Fresh Prince double-dress drag. Chris Rock is comedy royalty, a multi-Grammy and Emmy-winning icon who has filled massive arenas for decades. But in 1995, Chris Rock's career hit a massive, terrifying roadblock. He had recently left Saturday Night Live and a short stint on In Living Color, and Hollywood executives were starting to write him off as a faded comedy fad. Desperate for a high-profile gig, his agents landed him a guest spot on Will Smith's hit show The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Executive producers Quincy Jones and David Salzman threw an immense challenge at Rock. He had to play a dual role in a single taping. He played Maurice Perry, an incredibly difficult, fast-talking famous actor, and Maurice's fictional, wildly unhinged sister Jasmine. Rock spent half the filming day sitting in a heavy makeup chair getting fitted into a massive yellow dress, a curly wig, and full cosmetics. He delivered an absolute masterclass in physical comedy, improvising wildly with Will Smith on set. This legendary dual appearance reminded the entire television industry of Rock's unbelievable comedic energy. It gave him the immense industry momentum he needed to secure his legendary HBO comedy special, Bring the Pain 1996, just 1 year later, launching him directly into global superstar status and major film roles like Lethal Weapon 4 1998.
It was our 3rd date, and I already knew it wasn't going anywhere. So we went out to dinner, and I decided, what the hell? I'm just going to order the most expensive thing on the menu.
Number 16. Lisa Kudrow, the Secret Twin crossover. This entry uncovers one of the most brilliant accidental pieces of network television history. Before Lisa Kudrow was ever cast as Phoebe Buffay on Friends, she was a struggling actress who had just been brutally fired from the sitcom Frasier during the pilot episode rehearsals. Devastated and nearly broke, she managed to land a very minor recurring background role on NBC's hit sitcom, Mad About You, starring Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt. She was cast as Ursula, an unbelievably rude, completely spaced-out waitress who constantly forgot orders at the character's favorite restaurant. Kudrow's bizarre, deadpan delivery was an instant hit with the show's producers. A year later, when the same network, NBC, was casting a brand new show called Friends, executive producer Marta Kaufman loved Kudrow's quirky energy and cast her as Phoebe. However, the network instantly realized they had a massive continuity error, Mad About You, and Friends were scheduled to air back-to-back on the exact same Thursday night, must-see TV lineup, and Lisa Kudrow was playing 2 different characters in the same city. Instead of firing her from one of the shows, the producers held an emergency creative meeting and decided to link both shows into a shared universe. They declared that Ursula, the terrible waitress, was actually the estranged, identical twin sister of Phoebe Buffay. This legendary 90s crossover expanded Kudrow's screen time across 2 hit shows simultaneously, setting her up to earn a historic $1 million per episode on Friends, and leading to major movie roles like Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion, 1997.
Really glad you came.
What?
I'm really glad you came.
Uh-huh.
Number 15. Bryan Cranston, the eccentric Seinfeld dentist. Long before he became the terrifying, bald drug kingpin Walter White in AMC's Breaking Bad, or the frantic, yelling Father Hal in Malcolm in the Middle, Bryan Cranston was a hard-working journeyman character actor who survived by doing corny commercials and voicing background monsters for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. His entire career trajectory shifted forever when he walked into an audition for Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld in 1994. He was cast as Dr. Tim Whatley, Jerry's deeply eccentric, borderline unhinged dentist who famously converts to Judaism purely so he can make Jewish jokes without guilt. However, during filming, Cranston improvised a brilliant bit of physical comedy where he took a hit of his own patient's nitrous oxide gas before administering it to Jerry. Larry David was watching from the monitors and burst out laughing. He immediately ordered the writers to stop what they were doing and expand Cranston's character. Tim Whatley was brought back for a total of 5 classic episodes, becoming one of the most iconic recurring characters in television history. This specific guest role put Cranston on the map as a premier comedic actor with elite timing, directly leading to his casting in Malcolm in the Middle, which eventually gave him the industry leverage to land his dark, legendary leading role in Breaking Bad.
Skip. I've been seeing your name on cartoons ever since I was a little kid. You're great. No.
Number 14. Jim Carrey, the failed audition twist. In 1994, Jim Carrey achieved something no other actor in human history had ever done. He released Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber in a single calendar year, crossing hundreds of millions of dollars at the global box office. But a decade prior, Jim Carrey was a struggling Canadian stand-up comic who was so broke, he was literally living out of a Volkswagen camper van with his family. His massive corporate break seemed to arrive when legendary executive producer Jay Tarses cast him as the main lead in an NBC sitcom called The Duck Factory. Carrey played Skip Tarkenton, a sweet, incredibly naive young animator who moves to Hollywood to work for a dysfunctional, low-budget animation studio. Carrey's legendary energy was completely bottled up by the rigid, traditional sitcom multi-camera format. The scripts were weak, network executives constantly interfered with the tone, and the show was an absolute commercial disaster, getting swiftly cancelled after just 13 episodes. Carrey was left completely devastated and went into a deep financial depression. But this cancellation was the ultimate blessing in disguise. If The Duck Factory had become a hit, Carrey would have been legally locked into a strict, multi-year NBC network contract. He would have been completely legally unavailable to audition for the sketch show in living color in 1990, where his wild physical comedy was finally unleashed, entirely erasing his rise as the biggest film comedy star of the 1990s.
But I'm near it.
Near it?
Yeah, Coach wants me to be the hurdle painter. You know, hurdles get beat up and...
Number 13. Ryan Reynolds, the forgotten Canadian import. Today, Ryan Reynolds is Hollywood royalty, the brilliant, fast-talking mastermind behind Marvel's multi-billion-dollar Deadpool, Wolverine franchise, a massive marketing tycoon, and one of the most recognizable faces on Earth. But, in 1995, Ryan Reynolds was a completely defeated, broke Canadian teenager who had completely quit acting out of sheer frustration. He had enrolled in Kwantlen Polytechnic University to try and live a normal life. Everything changed when a fellow actor convinced him to pack everything into a beat-up truck with no doors and drive down to Los Angeles. As soon as he arrived, executive producer Paula Hart was casting a special television movie pilot for a new show called Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Because the pilot was being shot on location in Canada to save money, they needed charismatic Canadian actors. Reynolds was instantly cast as Seth, Sabrina's incredibly handsome, popular high school crush. Reynolds' undeniable charm and leading man looks were fully on display, but behind the scenes, he felt incredibly awkward and was convinced he was giving a terrible performance. The pilot was a massive ratings hit, launching the famous TV series, but the producers decided to shift production permanently to Los Angeles and recast the high school boyfriend character with actor Nate Richert. Reynolds was left out of the ongoing series, freeing him up to jump straight into major Hollywood feature films, like Van Wilder 2002, proving his ultimate destination was always the silver screen.
It's the Monument Street Bridge.
Yeah, it was killer during rush hour.
That's not funny, Booker.
I'm not trying to be funny.
Number 12. George Clooney, the fired factory manager. This is the absolute wildest behind-the-scenes story on our entire list. George Clooney is the ultimate definition of Hollywood royalty, an Oscar-winning actor, an elite director, and a billionaire businessman. But in 1988, Clooney was an absolute journeyman actor who had spent a grueling decade failing to make it past minor pilot episodes. His luck completely shifted when massive power producers Marcy Carsey and Tom Werner cast him in a major recurring role during season 1 of Roseanne, which was the #1 ranked television show in America. He played Booker Brooks, the incredibly handsome, slightly arrogant factory foreman at Wellman Plastics, who famously dates Jackie Harris. Clooney appeared in a total of 11 episodes, but behind the scenes, a massive corporate war was brewing. The show's creator and star, Roseanne Barr, was constantly clashing with executive producer Matt Williams over the creative jokes and control of the script. Clooney, fiercely loyal to the writers and creative freedom, openly clashed with network executives during rehearsals. In a ruthless show of corporate power, the network executives decided to completely write his character out of the show, effectively firing him from the biggest hit in the country. Clooney thought his career was completely dead, but being aggressively let go from his Roseanne contract cleared his entire schedule. A few years later, it allowed him to audition for a brand new medical drama pilot called ER 1994. His role as Dr. Doug Ross on ER made him an overnight international heartthrob, launching him directly into massive films like From Dusk Till Dawn 1996 and Ocean's 11.
I'll make you one, DJ. I want one from the store like Mom makes.
Well, you're just gonna have to suffer.
Number 11. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the grumpy Roseanne regular. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is highly celebrated around the world for his complex, high-intellect cinematic roles in blockbusters, like Christopher Nolan's Inception 2010, The Dark Knight Rises, and the iconic romance 500 Days of Summer 2009. While many pop culture fans remember him starring later in the hit sci-fi sitcom Third Rock from the Sun, his actual comedic training ground happened much earlier. At just 12 years old, he caught the eye of legendary producers Marcy Carsey and Tom Werner, who cast him in a brilliant recurring guest spot on Roseanne. He was cast as George, a deeply cynical, completely monotone, and deadpan neighborhood kid who briefly becomes friends with Darlene. Gordon-Levitt appeared in 4 classic episodes between 1993 and 1995. His incredible ability to deliver sarcastic, unbothered lines next to powerhouse adult actors like Roseanne Barr and John Goodman made him an instant fan favorite. He eventually left the show simply because he aged out of the child character slot and was cast as a lead in the feature film Angels in the Outfield 1994. This crucial 90s sitcom experience proved he could handle intense, high-pressure network sets, paving the directly open road for his transition into an elite Hollywood leading man.
You darn good people. Yesterday was Malloy's birthday. You forgot. Surprise!
Number 10. Jennifer Aniston, the forgotten pre-Friends disaster. Absolutely everyone across the globe assumes that Jennifer Aniston's television career began with her legendary role as Rachel Green on Friends in 1994. But before she ever stepped into Central Perk, Aniston was trapped in a string of completely forgotten, canceled network disasters. In 1990, Fox television producers launched a brand new comedy series called Malloy, starring a young Mayim Bialik who would later star in Blossom and The Big Bang Theory. A 21-year-old Jennifer Aniston, who was completely broke and working as a telemarketer and waitress in New York to survive, was cast as Courtney Walker Malloy's superficial, incredibly vain, and glamorous older stepsister. Aniston wore massive 90s blazers and sported dark brown hair. However, behind the scenes, the show faced massive creative clashes between the writers and Fox executives regarding the tone of the comedy. The series was an absolute commercial flop, getting ruthlessly canceled by Fox after broadcasting just 7 episodes. Aniston was left completely stranded and devastated. Over the next 3 years, she was cast in 3 more consecutive failed sitcoms, Ferris Bueller, The Edge, and Muddling Through. She was so profoundly discouraged by her 90s sitcom curse that she walked up to an NBC executive at a gas station and asked if she should completely quit acting to become a full-time waitress. Had she given up after the forgotten disaster of Malloy, the global pop culture phenomenon of Rachel Green would literally never have existed.
Sound like James Dean in Rebel Without a Cause.
When he met Natalie Wood.
Yeah. When she went as nice to him as you've been to me.
Number 9. Brad Pitt, the ultimate teen idol satire. Long before he became an Oscar-winning titan of cinema, a global sex symbol, and one of the most powerful producers in Hollywood history, Brad Pitt arrived in Los Angeles with just $325 in his pocket. To pay for basic acting classes, He survived by driving a limousine for strip clubs and dressing up in a giant chicken costume as a mascot for El Pollo Loco. In 1987, casting directors for the smash hit sitcom Growing Pains needed a young actor to play Jeff, an incredibly handsome, popular high school student who goes on a date with Carol Seaver but quickly dumps her after a toxic high school rumor spreads. A 23-year-old Brad Pitt walked in and instantly landed the minor role. The episode was a massive ratings hit, and the executive producers were so completely blown away by Pitt's natural charisma and screen presence that they did something incredibly rare in television history. They brought him back a year later in season 4, but to play a completely different character named Jonathan, a rock star crush of Carol's. He left the show simply because these were quick, one-off guest spots. But these 2 appearances on a major ABC sitcom instantly validated his status as a premier on-screen heartthrob, giving him the industry visibility that led directly to his legendary, star-making movie breakout in Thelma and Louise 1991, and cinematic epics like Seven 1995.
What were you guys doing? No one's allowed in the bedroom.
Hey, relax, Ash. We're just taking a little tour.
Number 8. Milo Ventimiglia, the uncredited party animal. Milo Ventimiglia became universally recognized as America's favorite, most beloved television dad by playing Jack Pearson in the massive, multi-Emmy-winning drama series This Is Us, as well as a cult icon by playing Peter Petrelli in Heroes. But his very first professional Screen Actors Guild credited television appearance on Earth happened on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. In 1995, Milo was an 18-year-old drama student who had just secured a scholarship at the American Conservatory Theater. Producers Quincy Jones and Will Smith were shooting a high-energy Season 6 episode where Carlton Banks faces a massive life crisis. They needed a group of energetic teenagers to act as background extras for a chaotic college party scene. Milo was cast as party guest number 1. If you watch the scene closely, he walks across the frame, hands a red cup, delivers exactly 1 quick sentence of dialogue to Will Smith, and completely disappears into the crowded background. He had no clashes on set. In fact, Milo later revealed in interviews that he spent his entire time on that sitcom set silently watching Will Smith interact with the crew. He used that experience as an absolute masterclass on how a leading actor should treat people with deep respect. A lesson he applied directly when he became the leader of This Is Us 20 years later, leading to his massive Hollywood success.
Sasha Sorotsky smiled at me. I can die a happy man.
You kidding with Sasha Sorotsky?
Number 7. Hilary Swank, the overlooked love interest. Hilary Swank achieved absolute cinematic immortality by winning 2 Best Actress Academy Awards before the young age of 30 for her powerful dramatic performances in Boys Don't Cry 1999 and $1 Million Baby 2004. But back in 1991, her reality was a terrifying struggle for survival. She and her mother had packed everything they owned and moved to Los Angeles with just $75, literally living out of their car and using a friend's vacant office phone to call casting agents. Her ultimate financial saving grace arrived when producers Michael Sullivan and Mio Marlens cast her in a multi-episode guest spot during the final season of Growing Pains. She was cast as Sasha Sorotsky, a tough local high school girl who becomes a love interest for Ben Seaver. What makes this an absolute goldmine for film trivia fans is that because it was season 7, Swank shared multiple scenes on set with a young, completely unknown teenage actor named Leonardo DiCaprio, who had just joined the cast as Luke Brower. It is absolutely wild to see 2 future Oscar-winning cinematic legends sharing basic, brightly lit network sitcom space before either of them had a single major film credit to their names. Swank left the show after her character's story, Dark, concluded, using the money to pull herself out of poverty and transition directly into feature films like The Next Karate Kid 1994.
Prom, Tommy Solomon, and Alyssa Strudwick.
Number 6. Aaron Paul, the pre-Breaking Bad prom announcer. Before he won 3 individual Primetime Emmy Awards for playing the deeply troubled, meth-cooking Jesse Pinkman in AMC's masterpiece Breaking Bad, Aaron Paul was an absolute journeyman background extra. After finishing high school, he packed up his car and moved to Los Angeles with just $6,000 in his pocket, working long, grueling shifts as a movie theater usher at the Universal Studios Hollywood Cinema just to pay his rent. In 1999, casting directors for the hit sci-fi sitcom Third Rock from the Sun needed a clean-cut teenager for a massive high school prom scene. Aaron Paul was hired, but didn't even qualify for a real character name. He is listed in the official credit roll simply as Student Number 1. His entire job in the episode was to stand perfectly still at a microphone during the high school prom night and announce the prom king and queen over the loudspeaker before the main alien cast caused chaos. If you watch this scene today, his distinct, gravelly voice is completely recognizable, but his clean-cut, polite look is the absolute polar opposite of the gritty, hardened character that would make him a household name in 2008. He left the set immediately after his one-day shoot, continuing a grueling decade of minor commercial work until Vince Gilligan cast him in Breaking Bad, completely altering television history.
Hey, Jessica! What are you doing here? I just thought maybe we could go to practice together.
Number 5. Michelle Williams, the uncredited crush. Michelle Williams is a powerhouse, 4-time Academy Award-nominated dramatic film actress known for her devastatingly emotional roles in cinematic masterpieces like Brokeback Mountain 2005, Blue Valentine 2010, and Manchester by the Sea 2016. But her very early teenage acting career was funded entirely by quick, minor guest spots on network comedies. In 1995, executive producers Matt Williams and Carmen Finestra were running Home Improvement, one of the most profitable sitcoms on network television. For the massive Season 4 finale, they needed a young girl to play Jessica, a beautiful neighborhood teenager who goes on a secret, forbidden date with the oldest Taylor son, Brad. A 14-year-old Michelle Williams landed the role. Her performance was incredibly brief, consisting of a few lines of dialogue in the Taylor family kitchen, but her natural, deeply grounded acting style stood out instantly from the loud, highly exaggerated acting styles of typical child stars of that era. She was not brought back because her character was strictly written as a one-time date for Brad. However, this high-profile network appearance gave her agents the leverage they needed. Just 3 years later, she would land her major breakout role as Jen Lindley on the hit teen drama Dawson's Creek, which launched her straight out of the sitcom landscape and directly onto the path of becoming one of the most respected dramatic film actresses of the 21st century.
Well, let's put that to a vote. How many people think Al just gave Jim some good advice or put Jim on the fast track to a quick head injury?
Number 4. Dave Chappelle, The Tool Time Double Take. Today, Dave Chappelle is universally recognized as an absolute titan of comedy, one of the wealthiest and most influential stand-up comedians in human history. But back in 1995, Chappelle was just a young, thin, 21-year-old stand-up comic trying to break out of the gritty New York club circuit into network television. Producers Matt Williams and Carmen Finestra decided to write a special episode of Home Improvement where Tim Taylor takes relationship advice from regular audience members on his fictional show within a show. Tool Time. Chappelle and his real-life comedian friend Jim Brewer were cast to play Dave and Jim, two regular guys who asked Tim for advice about their girlfriends. During the live studio audience taping at Walt Disney Studios, Chappelle's natural, completely effortless comedic timing and improvised riffs with Tim Allen caused the audience to erupt into massive fits of laughter. Network executives sitting in the back row at ABC were so completely blown away by Chappelle's raw charisma that they immediately held an emergency meeting and ordered a brand new, standalone spin-off sitcom built entirely around Chappelle's character, called Buddies. While that spin-off tragically failed due to casting changes, the immense industry leverage and confidence Chappelle gained from that single Home Improvement appearance gave him the ultimate power to eventually create the legendary, multi-million-dollar Chappelle's Show on Comedy Central in 2003.
Better keep the hat on. Why would Megan O'Connor do such a mean thing to me? Paige, I really gotta tell you something.
Number 3. Kaylee Cuoco, The Hidden Blueprint of Ellen. We all universally know Kaylee Cuoco as Penny, the beloved, street-smart neighbor who made a historic $1 million per episode on CBS's global smash hit, The Big Bang Theory, as well as the star of The Flight Attendant. But long before she found international multi-million-dollar fame, Cuoco was a hard-working child model and commercial actress working the Hollywood trenches from the age of 5. In 1996, executive producer Dava Savol was writing a crucial, high-concept episode for Ellen DeGeneres' self-titled sitcom, Ellen. The plot required a deep childhood flashback scene to explain Ellen's lifelong psychological trauma involving a schoolyard bubblegum incident. A 10-year-old Kaylee Cuoco walked into the audition room and was instantly cast as the young Ellen Morgan. If you watch this rare episode today, it is absolutely mind-blowing to see a 10-year-old Cuoco practicing and displaying the exact same hyper-expressive facial reactions, comedic timing, and sarcastic eye rolls that would make her an absolute international sitcom legend a decade later on, The Big Bang Theory. She left the set after her one-day flashback shoot concluded, But this high-profile touchstone television credit proved to network casting directors that she could carry a major primetime comedy, leading directly to her breakout role in 8 Simple Rules, 2002.
Oh, what's up with Smooth, Jakul, and O Money?
Oh man, Smooth and Jakul, they got their own.
Number 2. Don Cheadle, the Fresh Prince's street smart catalyst. Before he became an international box office superstar playing Colonel James Rhodes, also known as War Machine, across Marvel's massive Iron Man and Avengers films, Don Cheadle was a struggling, highly trained theater actor and jazz musician living paycheck to paycheck in Los Angeles. In 1990, executive producers Quincy Jones and Andy Borowitz were launching a brand new vehicle for a young rapper named Will Smith, called The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. For the 5th episode of the entire series, they needed a powerhouse guest actor to play Ice Tray, Will's old, tough, street-smart best friend from the rough neighborhoods of West Philadelphia, who comes to visit him in the ultra-wealthy mansion of Bel-Air. Don Cheadle walked in, rocked a massive high-top fade haircut, and completely dominated the set. Unlike typical background extras, Cheadle's character completely drove the intense emotional plot of the episode, hitting on Hillary Banks and forcing Will to realize he shouldn't lose his identity. Cheadle's raw on-screen charisma and perfect comedic timing completely stole the show from the main cast. He left after this single episode because the character was strictly written as a one-time visitor. However, this specific guest appearance proved to major film studios that Cheadle could effortlessly balance intense dramatic weight with commercial comedy, leading directly to his massive breakout movie roles in Devil in a Blue Dress, 1995, Ocean's 11, 2001, and his eventual Academy Award nomination for Hotel Rwanda, 2004.
What? That's her mother. No, guys, don't. Please.
Hey!
Number 1. Tobey Maguire, the silent dinner guest of Roseanne. We have reached the absolute peak of forgotten cameos. Tobey Maguire is a global cinematic icon who brought Peter Parker to life in Sam Raimi's legendary Spider-Man trilogy, pulling in hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office and appearing recently in the massive blockbuster Spider-Man No Way Home, 2021. But if you look back at 1991, Tobey Maguire was a desperate 15-year-old kid whose family was completely broke, constantly moving between shelters and relatives' houses. His mother gave him $100 to take acting classes instead of home economics. Powerful executive producers Marcy Carsey and Tom Werner were running the absolute biggest show on television, Roseanne. For a special Valentine's Day episode, they needed a group of teenage boys to sit in a booth at a local diner to act as background friends for the character of Darlene. Tobey Maguire was cast as a boy named Jeff. He had absolutely 0 lines of dialogue. If you pause the video at the exact 12-minute mark of the episode, you will see a young Tobey just nodding, smiling awkwardly, and eating a burger while Roseanne Barr delivers her lines. He was completely ignored by the main cast and the cameras. Why wasn't he brought back? Because he was strictly hired as a day player extra. But Tobey used that minor paycheck to keep auditioning. He formed a tight pact with another struggling child actor named Leonardo DiCaprio. They promised to help each other land massive movie roles. 11 years of intense rejection later, Sam Raimi fought with Sony executives to cast Tobey as Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2002, proving that the silent kid in the background of a 90s comedy was destined to rule Hollywood. It is absolutely mind-blowing to realize that before the glitz, the glamour, the Oscars, and the multi-billion-dollar Marvel and DC movie contracts, these 21 Hollywood legends were just regular, struggling people standing silently in the background of 90s network television sets, praying for their big break. It proves that no matter where you start, your destination can be legendary. If you enjoyed this deep, exclusive dive into Hollywood history, do not forget to support us. Click that subscribe button right now here on Comedalgia TV and turn on all notifications so you never miss our upcoming 40-minute masterclass breakdowns. Also, head over to our Facebook page, hit that follow button, and like our page for daily exclusive content, rare behind-the-scenes movie photos, and community polls. I want to know your thoughts right now. Which of these 21 stories blew your mind the most? Was it George Clooney getting fired, or Matthew McConaughey on Unsolved Mysteries? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. I will be personally reading and replying to every single comment today. Thank you so much for watching the entire video on Comedalgia TV. Stay curious, and we will see you in the very next breakdown.